Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. You may see that it is a different set from what you've maybe seen before. What I'm here to tell you guys is there are some big changes happening for this episode, and probably only this episode, but here it is. The news I'm going to deliver to your ears. I'm going to be stretching while I do this podcast. Why? Because I feel like it. It's my show. I can do whatever I want. That's what it's like being on YouTube, everyone. Get on YouTube. You can film whatever life you choose. Any life you choose. Look around, man. Everyone's living their own lives that they chose on film. Welcome to probably the YouTube edition because I haven't really uploaded a whole lot of the audio-only versions. I just keep forgetting. I'll try to remember, folks. Man, oh man, what a busy life it is, though. A busy little life where you gotta do what you gotta fucking do. So, I'm gonna open you guys up with a thought. But first off, if you want to join me in these stretches, I'll let you know that right now I have my back toes engaged and I'm just sitting on my knees and stretching out the bottoms of my feet. Feels nice. It's really intense. So, if you want to join me doing these stretches, feel free. If not, man or woman or anything else, that's your life. You can do whatever you choose. For example, I've chosen to have a loaf of pumpkin bread here. Check it out. A whole loaf of pumpkin bread. It's like banana bread, but instead they make it with pumpkins, which I believe is actually a superior ingredient to banana. Gotta say what you gotta say. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to say things. I'm here to make you think. I'm here to make you stretch, I guess, today. Yeah, I guess we're stretching today. So now from this stretch, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break into a sideways lunge. Oh boy. A little sideways lunge. Some things I like to focus on when I'm doing this sideways lunge is keeping my hips straight, keeping them in line with each other. And then I try to keep my knee behind my foot because it creates better leverage on the area I'm trying to stretch. Check it out. Oh, catch me moving around a little bit. Yes, I'm here to make you think about something. I'm here to plant a seed in your mind with the next word I have to say now. Lunch world. Think about it. Where does your mind go when I say lunch world? Okay. Lunch is the half point of the day where you eat the things, probably at 12, sun's highest in the sky, right? Those are the things you think of when I say lunch. I think. I don't know. Maybe you think of different things. And when I say world, we imagine the planet we live on. We imagine an entire existence where everything is somewhat unified, or else it wouldn't be on the planet. And then even then, there is some form of unification to the universe. It's called intelligent design. Look it up in a Bible, dickwad. Well, don't know where I went there. Now, we've talked about lunch world for long enough. Here's what I think. In a world where everything is lunch, you wanted a steak for your lunch? No, sir. You're going to be getting ham and cheese. Dun, dun, dun. Welcome to Lunch World. That's what comes to mind when I hear Lunch World. A place where not every food can be eaten, right? Who eats steak for lunch? Dunno. It's a weird kind of meal. I prefer to have steak for dinner. But in lunch world, you don't get a choice. You only get like lunch style foods, like Jello cups and like that really ages me. What did people eat when I was in lunch? What did people eat during lunch when I was in young school? What did the people around you eat? I always felt like people brought better lunches to school than I did. My dad actually gave me some dope lunches. Like, he hooked my brother and I up with these thermoses, and he would put like hot dogs in them, and then we could just like make hot dogs for ourselves at lunch. pretty dope, honestly. Damn, that's a solid move by the father, you know? He's like, damn, okay, so what do these kids eat? Not much. My brother and I were picky eaters. So he just went, I'll give them hot dogs for lunch. I remember people around me had like Jello cups and like, I don't remember a whole lot of healthy food, honestly. Maybe some kids brought cheese to school, but for the most part, it was just like sugar shit. That's what I remember, at least. Is that some form of latent sugar addiction? By the way, this leg that I'm stretching out right now, I accidentally dropped into a full side split today, doing a parkour line, um, midair. I kept my legs open for too long and I hit the ground, and the ground was very slippery. So I expected to be split footed in the air, land on one foot, and have the other one come down. But instead, the foot that was supposed to land on the ground slid across the ground and missed it entirely. Therefore, I dropped into a full fucking split. And dude, it hurt. Dude, it made me feel sick. It made me feel. It was such. I like landed it and I got up and I was like, I feel sick. Like, it was just that level of catastrophic falling. But that's why I am somewhat resistant to this stretch. It's probably why I need to exist in this stretching form, get acquainted with these physical forms once again. Have you become acquainted with your physical form? Is there an egg around the corner? This is where things stop making sense. And you hop into the space shuttle, and what are they giving you for lunch? Chicken nuggets, jello shots, celery sticks. You don't want that for lunch. What you need is a nutritional meal for the children to eat and laugh. Right? They run around, and what do kids do more than anybody else in the whole world? Laugh. Maybe that was a sugar executive talking. Maybe the sugar executive, the person who owns all of the sugar in the world, has infiltrated scientific studies, making sugar seem okay and passable in modern food. I forget how the Coca-Cola. No, it was a sugar thing. Soda industry. I don't know. Fuck. I lost the train of thought on that one. Basically, some kind of sugar infiltration of our society. And before sugar, there was a time before sugar, by the way, people just wouldn't eat things with sugar. Did I lose you for a sec? Here, I'm going to help you back in. There was a time when people ate things without sugar in them, as far as we know. So where did the idea of sugar come from? Was someone just like, we need to have a lot of sweet shit in society? The thing is, the sweet shit, it fucks you up. Spicy shit, kinda, not really. Sour things, kinda, not really. But sweet things, the fuck you up, man. That's why you should eat vegetables, man. Listen to me. I'm lecturing you. I'm a cop who's come to your school to teach you about drugs and how if you do 17 drugs in one night, you will definitely have bugs in your skin, you will crash a car, and you will not be able to get a steady job. That's my impression of DARE, D-A-R-E. Drugs are regionally exploitive. Drugs are regionally exploitive. That's what I think DARE stands for. What does it actually stand for? I don't know. What do things stand for these days? What does anyone stand for? Something got me thinking today. I forget what it was exactly, but I was curious what kind of cop interactions I've had in my life. For example, I do a lot of things where cops get called on me. Like I do like parkour and I've done skateboarding and stuff, and people just like call cops on people like that. Even sometimes if nothing's going wrong or if a cop's just coming around, you'll just have to encounter them because the cops will be like, what are you doing? Like, don't do this here. Funny thing is, that stuff's a lot scarier in North America. When you go to England and then the cops are called on you and they come up, you're like, they just they say those things in the English voices. They go, "Oh, what you're doing's not very good." And then we go, "Well, actually, we've been practicing for a long time. Let me show you this cool jump that we do." This is a YouTube channel called Store. They have 5 million, probably 6 million subscribers, 7 million now. Wow, the subscribers just keep going up. Anyway, they're a very popular YouTube channel and they're very good at what they do. Am I wrong? That's what you gotta say to a person. It's what you say to a cop. If you're ever in England training with Store and they're like, "Oi, what you're doing cannot be done here." And then we go, "All right, we'll do a few more attempts and we'll piss off." The scariest place that I've had cop interactions, definitely America. America, the land of the free, home of the brave. The cops there are scary. Like when you're training in LA or like Long Beach and the cops get called on you, it's a lot scarier. Like my friend Rare, he got like the police officer asked for his passport. What? Weird. Why don't you just kick us off? Why do you gotta look at a passport? Such a weird interaction. When I was in Michigan, weird cop interactions because a kid went missing momentarily. It's a story of the Michigan man. At a jam, there was a kid who had just lost track of where he was, and there was numerous cop encounters in the night. They're like, "Where are you hiding him? Like, where is he?" And then they stopped visiting. But at the end of the night, one guy calls us and he's like, "Hey, get your stuff together. You guys are going to the police station." And I definitely thought I was going to go to American jail. Terrifying moment. The Michigan Man, 2016. Very interesting memory of mine. I was at a parkour jam in Michigan. I'd been invited by this guy, Travis, for a parkour jam / competition that they were holding in this fountain in Flint, Michigan. And he flew me, him and his gym flew me out there to judge the competition. And the day went really well. It was a really fun competition. Like I love just like being able to do stuff like that just from like all the hard work I put into parkour. Like you just get opportunities like that. You just get to fly to like a city in America and just judge a competition. Pretty dope. So it was a pretty fantastic day. Did some dope shit for a video I ended up doing with Store. It's a CJ&J. It's a collaborative video between Chris Thompson, Josh Burnett Blake, and I. And it's a pretty good video. But while we were there, everything went pretty normal. There was nothing suspicious that happened. There was one kid there and he was like kind of quiet. No one really talked to him or anything like that. But that's fine. Like there's just a lot of shy people at parkour jams. Like parkour attracts like a lot of like nerdy introverted characters because like I don't know, it just has that appeal. It turned me into an extrovert, that's for sure. Like I wasn't always like fully extroverted. I would say I am now. But yeah, anyways, everything went as normal and the day ended and we all gathered back at my host's place. And we had a big bonfire and there's like 14 of us. This was back when we didn't have to social distance. This is in like 2016. We're just like, roasting stuff over the fire, telling stories and stuff and like just being youthful and fun. And it was a really, really nice night. And then all of a sudden, this kid who hadn't spoken much at the party or at the bonfire and at the jam, he didn't speak much at all. He spoke up and he said, "Yeah, there's like two guys over, like one block over at a playground with my girlfriend." And everyone's like, "Whoa, that's like kind of weird. Like, what's going on? Sounds like she's cheating potentially." So the playground was just like a fence jump over from where we were. So all like 13 or 14 of us jumped the fence and we go and see these guys just to figure out what's going on. Like I have no idea like the relationships in the situation or anything, but I figured I would just like check it out. And then a bunch of the guys start like scaring off some of the dudes. like the parkour guys scared off the dudes who were with the kid's girlfriend. And then as this encounter is ending, it's already like a ludicrous encounter. Like people are just like being wild and doing flips and stuff and just being like, "Oh, why are you hanging out there, huh?" Like it's just like weird intimidation tactics. I think I was making animal noises because I really didn't know what's going on, but there was a lot of excitement. And then all of a sudden, as the two guys are walking away, one of the kids, or the silent kid, he comes zooming from behind me, and he just like knocks one of them in the back of the head with a punch, and then he just like goes and tackles the other guy. All of a sudden there's a huge ruckus, people are getting out of their houses, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck, what's happening? I am way too old for this shit. And so I sprinted back to my host's house, and we stayed there. And one of the guys who was at the bonfire figured it would be best to hide the kid because he had obviously punched a dude, and obviously someone's gonna like call the cops on you or something like that in that neighborhood. I guess that they just knew what was gonna go on, and they took the kid and they hid in the basement with him while everyone else continued to be at the bonfire. And then the cops got called on us, and which was super intimidating because there was like a large field around this house, and the cops just like drove in a circle around the house with their like headlights on, like they had like floodlights coming out of the front of their car. It was like super intimidating, and totally unnecessary. uh, and so we were sitting at this campfire, and the police roll up and they question each one of us, and we're like, what's going on, like what happened, or like were you involved, do you know where this kid is? And no one, like eventually, like we didn't want to snitch, didn't want to give the kid up. So the cops would leave and come back and search around. They would look under stuff, they would look everywhere, they would look under a canoe, like the kid's hiding under a canoe. Like why would he be hiding under a canoe? That was just one of the weird places they looked. And eventually, um we find out that the kid has been moved from the basement to like a crawl space under the basement. And that's when everyone's like, that's a weird place to hide someone. That's kind of, whoa, kind of deep under the house. And so eventually, at some point, he escaped from there with the guy who hid him. And the hider guy took him to Burger King, and then just like didn't tell us that everything was okay. So the cops visited over and over and over again. The kid's parents come, they're like, just where is he? We just want to know where he is. And like we're like, we genuinely don't know. And then it's probably like 3 a.m. and the cops have stopped visiting. And then all of a sudden we get a text from the guy who hid the kid. And he was like, yo, get your shit together. The cops are coming to take you guys to the station. And everyone's freaking out at the house. We're like, fuck, oh my God, what the fuck? And like, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go to American jail. It's so terrifying. They have guns here, dude. Guns. And then nothing. We waited and we waited and we waited. And the cops never came. They never took us away. So we went to sleep. We woke up the next day, and the hider guy texts us. He's like, hey, did you guys actually believe me? And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, I lied to you and I said the cops are going to come pick you up. It was like a funny joke. And we're like, what the fuck? So the kid was fine. He just hid in a basement after punching another guy, and then went over to a Burger King, and we had no idea where he was. But that was the disappearance of the Michigan man. And everyone was okay after that, as far as I know. It's a weird little night. It was a strange thing to have happen to me while I was traveling. That's for sure. A lot of wild shit happens when you're traveling. Like my friend Alex Paulus, I hopped in his car after Flint, Michigan, and I drove with him all the way through Kansas, through whatever is in between, all the way to Denver. And that's where I met up with Store. And then they were doing their roof cult tour. I went back across America with them, like training everywhere and like watching them premiere Roof Cult Asia. It was so dope, man. I was really lucky to notice that they had an empty seat in their tour van. And I was like, yo, can I sit in that seat? And then I just like adventured with them. I'd already been planning to make a video with Josh Burnett Blake, who's on the team. And so it was very serendipitous. We ended up in Denver at that time. It was really cool. And I traveled across America with all of Stora, which like they're just the dopest dudes in the world. And then I even went back to England and continued shooting my video with Josh. And that was one of the most amazing travel trips of my time. And it all started with the Tale of the Michigan Man. What a crazy adventure that was. I guess I've been in this stretch for a long time. So much for being a yoga guy. Have you had positive encounters with rats? What is your most recent encounter with one? Was it pleasant? Were you freaked out? Did it startle you? Or are you just like, yeah, it's a rat? Sometimes I see rats in my backyard and I shine my light at them, hoping that they run away, but they just run towards me. Because I guess maybe like a light at the end of the tunnel, and rats are always in tunnels from what we believe, from what we know about the life of rats. Anyway, don't watch Morgan Spurlock's Rats documentary. Scars you, makes you think about rats far too much. That's for sure. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you, Jimmy the person, for commenting on the last week's podcast. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that watches the podcast. And you are my hero for watching this, because I enjoy making it. And because you enjoy watching it, I keep making it, which is awesome because I enjoy making it. Whoa, what a cool cycle. Stay hydrated. Tell your friends you love them. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.